of us, and when I say us, I think of specifically the women, a lot of the women that come on this channel. The majority of them are dealing with some version or form of hair loss. And in addition to that, many or most are in perimenopause, menopause, or post-menopause, which also has its own sets of challenges.
Me too.
Exactly. Yes. And so when we think about the emotional toll of these situations, the mental toll that it takes. Sometimes, I remember talking to someone, it's like, you don't know sometimes if the hair loss causes the stress or the stress causes the hair loss. It doesn't matter because we're dealing with the stress associated with it. And so sometimes it feels like everything's out of control. But your approach and what we're going to talk through is helping us sort of to, as we say at work, to have agency over what the things that we can control. It's the ways and the mechanisms and the tools that God has given us to help support peace and so on. Hi, it's Lynn, and welcome back to my channel. And so as you know, on this channel, we explore a holistic approach for dealing with hair loss, which includes all aspects of well-being, like physical, nutrition, medical. And today we're going to dive deep into a really important topic, which is our mental and emotional wellness during this season of challenge. And so I'm excited to welcome Corine McGlown, founder of Calmfirmations, which is a platform designed to speak life and calm into your life. So welcome, Corine. And so everyone, grab your beverage of choice.
Yes.
Get a notepad, light a candle, and let's go. So, Corine, welcome to the channel.
Thank you so much, Lynn. I appreciate you reaching out to me. I am so happy to be here, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to your audience and help them to learn more about Calmfirmations and what I do.
So awesome. And also we have to give a special shout out, everyone. And y'all know we love Karen from Curl House on our channel. And Karen introduced me to Corine. And so you already know Karen is the best.
She is the best,
so we already know Corine comes highly, highly recommended. So again, we're excited to have you. And why Calmfirmations? And maybe talk to us a little bit about your background with emotional wellness. And then we'll just have a conversation.
Definitely. Calmfirmations came from deep within my spirit years before I even knew that I would create something like this. So I have a lifetime of experience with anxiety. I remember having my first panic attack as a child soon after my mother passed. And from that time on, I've dealt with a lot of emotional struggles. Now, people who don't know me may not realize that because I'm what you might call like a high functioning person with anxiety. I don't call myself an anxious person. I'm a person who has and deals with anxiety. And I always have. And over the years, I've learned more and more ways to help manage that. As a youth, I did not have the resources. As a youth, I did not have access to therapy. I did not know what anxiety was. It was really hard. It was a very big struggle for me growing up, wondering, why do I feel so nervous all the time? Why does the first day of school stress me all the way out? Why am I having such frequent panic attacks? And so it wasn't until I graduated high school and went off to college that on my campus I had my very first therapy appointment. I knew something wasn't quite right and I didn't know what it was. So I reached out and had my first therapy appointment, and it was at that appointment that the woman who sat across from me described textbook exactly how I was feeling and called it anxiety. And I'm like, so other people deal with this? It's not just me, because it was really hard feeling like it was just me dealing with this. And so that really opened up my eyes to the world of like mental health, the struggles that people deal with, as well as a young adult now, teaching myself, how can I control this? How can I help control my thinking? Because when you're anxious, you feel like something is going to happen to you, but it's not. In most cases, it's your mind thinking about what could happen. And so learning ways to help control my thinking and evolve over the years, for sure, through therapy and other measures. So now fast forward many, many years, I'm married. I have 2 young daughters. My girls, one's in elementary school, one's in junior high school, and kids are not nice. Kids, there are some kids out there that just don't treat others really well. And so I've had some situations even at the school with trying to deal with my girls and making sure that they have high self-esteem and that they feel confident and that they know, their own worth at a young age. It needs to start, and just affirming them but I could see sometimes that their confidence might shift when different things happen at school. We all go through things, but trying to teach them the tools now of how to deal with that. So I tend to be what some people would call shy or quiet. I'm not. When you know me, like when I'm comfortable, you can't shut me up. But I've always been very, very introverted, very much so. So I've been saying over the years, I really want to find my voice. Like I want to find my voice. I know that I have an even greater purpose here on this earth, and just trying to figure out what it was. And then after COVID happened and so many more people started talking about mental health, dealing with mental health struggles, so much came to the forefront. And I said, you know what? I want to create something where people can hear my voice, knowing that I have lived the experience of what they're going through emotionally. And I want to offer support. I want to offer encouragement. I want to create calming tools to help other people through, because I know what it's like. I know what anxiety and stress can do to your mind and your body, and I want to help others. So Calmfirmations are calming affirmations that start with the phrase, I calmly affirm. So that's how it all kind of began. From there, I said, I want to make something that people can use, something tangible. And so I started creating journals. So I self-publish calming affirmation journals that people can trace, color, and affirm. Yes, and affirm themselves. And so in addition to creating journals, I started creating videos. So I have a YouTube channel called Affirmations, where I recite affirmations, where I do videos for encouragement and try to inspire people and uplift them, because self-talk is so important. And so that is the basis of Calmfirmations, is calmly affirming ourselves with love. Because we all need it, and we might not hear that we're loved. We might not receive a compliment every day, but we can give ourselves love, and we can compliment ourselves more than tearing ourselves down, which so many of us do and don't even think twice about it.
Right. And so many of us, number one, thank you for sharing.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you for sharing. So many of us, and when I say us, I think of specifically the women, a lot of the women that come on this channel, the majority of them are dealing with some version or form of hair loss. And in addition to that, many or most are in perimenopause, menopause, or postmenopause, which also has its own sets of challenges.
Me too.
Exactly. Yes. And so when we think about the emotional toll of these situations, the mental toll that it takes. Sometimes, I remember talking to someone, it's like, you don't know sometimes if the hair loss causes the stress or the stress causes the hair loss. It doesn't matter, because we're dealing with the stress associated with it. And so sometimes it feels like everything's out of control. But your approach and what we're going to talk through is helping us sort of to, as we say at work, to have agency over what are the things that we can control. It's the ways and the mechanisms and the tools that God has given us to help support peace. And so I read this the other day, and it said that every single thought is a frequency that communicates with our DNA nucleus. If it's a hateful thought, angry or bitter or resentful, that signal is sent immediately to your DNA and produces inflammation.
Yes.
A protein which damages our DNA, shortens lifespan, and inflames our body. If the thought is loving, abundant, grateful, that same thought actually protects your cells and helps you detoxify and de-inflame. And there's a gentleman where I read that from. And so let's talk a little bit about even the grieving process, right? So there's anxiety, there's also the grieving. Many of us who have lost our hair, whether it's regrown or not, you're dealing with identity issues, you're dealing with beauty and anxiety. And what I love about your Calmfirmations, and we'll talk about that, is the phrasings that you use, the things that you use. I've heard so many people sort of even diminish. Why are you so worried about that? That's not the issue. The issue is, it doesn't matter how big or small it is. If it's affecting us, then it's something that God, number one, cares about. And if he cares about it, I'm going to care about it. So let's talk about maybe, can you tell us about our thoughts, mindfulness, and affirmations, and how it might help us towards emotional well?
Definitely. So with mindfulness, it's when you are totally present and aware of what you're doing, what you're thinking, and what you're feeling. So many times we are rushing through our day. We're just trying to make it to work, just make it to do this, just do that. We're just doing. But when you take some moments to be intentional about your mindfulness, you're thinking about like, okay, what do I need to do next? How does it need to happen? What is my body feeling right now? When you have mindfulness exercises, such as the journal, which is an example of a mindfulness exercise, you have decided to be intentional about picking up that journal, opening up the page, choosing which marker you're going to use, and which page you're going to trace or color, and starting the lines. So you have focused your attention now on this particular page that you've chosen for whatever reason. That particular page spoke to you at that moment. You're aware of what you're doing. You're thinking about how you're feeling, and you are present. And it's so important because that allows you to block out the noise. I'm an overthinker. My mind is always going. It's exhausting. So I have to find ways to calm the noise, shut it out, and allow myself to just reset and to be. And mindfulness can come in so many different ways. There's so many different forms of it. The journals are just one example. There's so many different ways that you can practice mindfulness. And the more you do it, it becomes a habit. It becomes a part of your daily routine. And it's very beneficial to us. Affirmations. Okay, so when you recite an affirmation, it's always involved with it. I calmly affirm. Let's say I'm going to say, I calmly affirm I am beautiful. You are telling yourself, I am calm, I affirm it, I am beautiful. Because how many times throughout the day are we saying, oh, my hair just doesn't act right, or ooh, I don't like this blouse. Like, we tear ourselves down so easily. We complain about any and everything. But when's the last time you've looked at yourself even in the mirror and was like, oh, I look cute today? Why don't we do that? Like, maybe some of us do, but I'm pretty sure the majority of us don't go around complimenting ourselves to ourselves. But the same negative thoughts that we're so quick and easy to say, they are damaging, like you said, to your DNA. Why not uplift ourselves and tell us that we're beautiful? When my girls call me, I'll say, hey, beautiful, or how you doing today, cutie, or oh, you're so smart. Like I tell them what I think of them, and I'm hoping that it's absorbing into their own system, because they say Calmfirmations too around the house, and it surprises me when they say it. I love it. I love because they pay attention. You don't know that they're listening, but they are listening, and I absolutely love that. But mindfulness and affirmations kind of can go hand in hand. And I think that it's a practice that everyone should just try. And it might feel awkward at first, but the more you do it, it really does start to feel more natural. And I think you feel better as a result.
Mm-hmm. And so for mindfulness, and I think you have videos on your channel, right?
I do.
So for mindfulness, for those of us overthinker here, even one thing that's helpful for me is even thinking about just 5 minutes. Like, don't commit to 45 minutes, right? Just 5 minutes. Can you speak to the length of time that is helpful, or,
Yeah. Start small, because I'm also someone who has ADHD. So starting small works for me. If I sit down and say, okay, I'm going to spend an hour journaling, it's not going to happen. And that's another reason why I created the journals, because how many times have I bought journals or picked up journals and started but didn't finish, didn't continue? So with my journals, the words are already there. So you already have a starting point, and then wherever you go from there, you go. So if you can commit to just 2 minutes at a time, 5 minutes at a time. Maybe you're in the car, you drop the kids off or whatever, and you can just listen to some affirmation videos. Just listen to the positivity being repeated. Maybe you pick up a journal while you're waiting for your child to finish basketball practice, and you have your marker right there in the car, and you just start kind of doodling. It's so much more beneficial than scrolling on the phone, which again is information overload, just more and more data.
Yes.
Take some time to listen to some gentle, calming music. Just commit to at least 5 minutes a day. And then once you start doing that, you'll find you kind of like it. And you might go to like 7-10 minutes. But there's no penalty if you don't do half an hour or an hour. It's whatever works for you. Everybody has their own toolbox for calming tools. Everybody's toolbox looks different, and you do what works for you. So I think starting out with 2 minutes, 5 minutes, a 1 minute video is better than none at all. 1 minute of silent mindfulness is better than ripping and running throughout your entire day and not paying attention to yourself.
Right. And so everyone, I purchased her Calmfirmations journal. I'm going to link it in the description box. Please make sure you get one. And send one to your friend or loved one. But this is the book for healthy hair growth. And so I wanted to, and so I did a couple of pages. So I did that one. Interestingly enough, and I share this with you, I also started on this one too. But Because what I was looking for, honestly, similar to what you just said about the scrolling, right? So I want to replace, it's easy to say I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm just one of those people, I need to have something. If I'm going
Yes.
to eliminate this, what are we replacing it with? And so I love to read, but I also do like to color. And so I started this a couple days ago, and I went through the I Am Beautiful one. And I struggle at days sometimes with, personal
Yes.
beliefs and things like that. And so when I started this, it almost brought tears to me. Now, granted, I'll say this in the mirror. I'll do things, like, oh Lord, thank you. I look cute today. I'll do that.
Yeah.
But there was something about writing
Yes.
and being present in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I think here's a journal. I wrote this down. I see it as a seed, almost like a seed of healing for our souls. So
Yes.
I encourage you, if you are struggling, I know, hear me out. Let's be honest. I know you are, because I've gotten the emails. I've gotten the things. So let's just be real with ourselves. The first way we can get to healing is being honest with ourselves when we struggle.
Yes.
If you're not struggling, kudos to you, and help
Right.
us along the way, right? So everybody's welcome here. But if you are struggling with your identity and I strongly recommend getting this book and walking through some of the Calmfirmations. Are there other practices or tools that you recommend that we can use to help us in terms of calming down and being fully present in the moment?
Well, my number one, and I do this every single day. Like at this point, I don't even try to. It just happens. Is deep breathing. And I know people may have heard it. They say, okay, yeah, I've heard of deep breathing. But what is that? Breathe since the very first moment of our lives. So we take it for granted, I think, that we do breathe. But like right now, how is your breathing? If you want to get mindful right now, even about your breathing, is your breathing quick? Is it slow? Is it deep? Is it shallow? Are you breathing out your mouth or your nose? How are you breathing? So deep breathing is a method, and there's many different ways of doing it, but deep breathing is an excellent method for calming yourself when there could be a lot going on around you. At any point in time, my girls might be fighting, the TV might be too loud, and the stove might be beeping. Anything could happen, and you just have to take a moment and breathe in through your nose as deeply as you can. Hold it, and then breathe out through your mouth until you have no more air left. And that slows you down. It slows down your internal system. It slows down your mind. It makes you think about breathing, right? So you're blocking out all this other stuff, and it gives you a moment to get in some more air, release some frustration, maybe do 2 or 3 of them. Just take a moment every day to do some deep breathing. Have you deep breathed before?
I have.
Good,
And you know
good,
what
good.
happens? So here's the
Yes.
deal too. What I find out I do better when I do it at night before I go to sleep. And you track your sleep and everything. I can tell that I get into a deeper sleep quicker when I've done that. I've also done it. I don't do it every single day, right? It's the goal to do that.
Right.
But I think when I'm learning to be more consistent with it, right? That's
yes.
probably the best way to describe it.
It's all about that living with intention, finding which tools work for you. And for me, calming tools, they need to be quick, they need to be easy, and they need to be calming. I can't necessarily spend half an hour all the time trying to calm myself. So what are some little things that I can do along the way to help maintain? And I'm not talking about when you're at a horribly low point of stress and you need a lot more than just a few deep breaths at that point. You got to pull more things out of your toolbox, more tools. But deep breathing is one for sure that people can do. Listening to affirmations in your earbuds. Maybe you're working, or maybe, I don't know, whatever it is you might be doing, vacuuming, whatever it might be. Have your earbuds in and just listen to positive affirmations on repeat. You might recite them back, you might not, but just pump that positivity into your mind, into your brain. Earlier, I think you said, grab your drink, light a candle. Light a candle, turn the lights off. Turn the lights off, light a candle, and just be for a little bit, with or without music. And again, it doesn't have to be 15, 20 minutes. It can just be 2 or 3 minutes to yourself. Sense, all of our senses. Find a scent that you really enjoy. Put on some music that you really like. Allow yourself to decompress at least a few minutes every day. And there's many different ways of doing that. And then also find ways to exert some of that energy that you have. So I recently found Pilates this year. Always heard about it, never really knew what it was. We had a Pilates place open up near where we live, and I was curious about it. I started going and found that I absolutely love it. I do. And how many years now am I to have found a form of exercise that I enjoy? I feel healthier, I'm more flexible. And those things, although it might not sound like much, okay, you're a little bit more flexible, but there was moments when I was not. My knees locking up on me, my shoulders, I'm going to the chiropractor all the time. That weighs on you emotionally when you're not feeling your best, right? So when you are not as emotionally strong as you would like to be, it can impact your physical. When you're not as physically strong as you would like to be or need to be, it impacts your emotion. Like it's all related. So doing things that can help you feel better about yourself. And I take the time to do it. There was a time that I would not have taken an hour out of the day to go do Pilates. Now I'm putting me first, and I'm making sure that I make it to my appointments and I feel good as a result. So try different things that you would then can put into your toolbox and say, okay, I can do this. I can grab my coloring journal. I can do some deep breaths. I can listen to some calming music. I'm going to put some affirmations on in the car. Like, what are your tools? And write them out so that you have to think about it. Like, write out a list of like, what are my top favorite 10 calming tools? And just start rotating them until some of them become more natural for you to do on a daily basis.
I love that idea of having your own toolbox, your own like your own, even a physical toolbox of things that you can, gift yourself with, right?
Yes, because when you are stressed, you don't want to think hard. When you're stressed, you don't want to be more stressed. And that's why with my journals, like, they're easy because they're supposed to be. Like, when you're picking something up to relax, you don't want to have it be complicated. Like, I would not necessarily pick up, I don't know, like a New York Times crossword puzzle if I want to relax. Some people, that might relax them, but that when I'm really feeling stressed out, that's not the additional energy that I want to put forth. When you do things though with your hands, I know people who crochet and they love it. It's very therapeutic to them. When you color, some people love chopping up, ingredients to cook. That's calming to them. It's something about using your hands and the act of doing it that connects with your brain, and it calms you from the other things that are going on in life.
And we, in the title, in the video, we talk about calm the chaos. And so we've talked about the mindfulness, the affirmations, the coloring, even Pilates. Are there any other ways or tools that you think in terms of calming? And that's my first part. And then the second part is, are there any examples you can share of people that you've worked with or where you've seen that these practices really help transform someone's life or experience?
I would say there's many different examples, and that there's certain people that just certain things affect them or impact them differently. So I know someone in particular that listens to inspirational, motivational videos, every day and feels motivated, inspired by that. And, if you find the right person, you connect with the right voice, it can help you to remember that you are capable of anything you put your mind to. We start to doubt ourselves a lot of imposter syndrome, a lot of self-doubt, a lot of, unfortunately, comparison to other people online and things that we see that most times aren't even real. We might think they got it together. They don't have it all together, but a lot of times we compare ourselves to that. So finding ways to block out that energy. So someone who might listen to motivational speakers, that's one. Prayer is another one. I have a good friend of mine who prays every single day around the same time every day, and that's healing for her. It's healing for a lot of us. Affirmations is not a replacement if you're a believer for prayer. Right. Like that's not what this is. When you're affirming yourself, you are literally just providing positive self-talk for yourself, for your own self to hear. Other calming tools, let me think off the top of my head, because we mentioned the ones that are the biggest, like for me. But there could be someone who likes to draw. So maybe you just pick up a blank pad of paper and just allow yourself to doodle. You find what draws your energy out in a positive way. Going for a walk. Like, walking is one of the best things we can do for ourselves. You don't have to run. You don't have to be out there sprinting. Just going on a nice walk. It's getting your body moving. You're breathing. The more you walk, especially if you do speed walk, by default, you're going to breathe deeper. And that can be calming as well, being out with nature. So there's, if you have a pet, a lot of people find a lot of comfort in having an animal, and that comfort and that's very consoling as well, and positive energy from pets and pet energy. So there's many different things online that you can even like just Google and say, what are some examples of calming tools? And you find one that maybe you haven't done before, and you try it, and then just see how you like it.
Right, right. And I think that's important for most of us. Again, many of the women on our channel are, we work, we have careers, we have all these different things. And sometimes we may even know this information.
Yes.
But the challenge is for us to actually apply it.
Doing it, implementing.
On a daily basis, even in the smallest, most incremental piece, because even that, number one, is contributing to our healing.
Yes.
Right? And it's also reducing our cortisol. That's a part of that healing, reducing those the stress markers. It's literally a way that God has given us a tool that we can be a part of this process in terms of working with him as he does his work.
And mindset is everything. You have to choose to want to be better. You have to choose to want to feel better. You have to choose to take one step towards improving your life. As only you can do. Like, I can't help the next person be all that they can be. I can try to inspire them. I can affirm them. I could give them, positivity, words of affirmation, but they have to make the decision internally that I know that I can be better, feel better, do better, and I'm going to just take one small step towards doing it, because that's all it takes, just one little step at a time. And then you start to see and feel that it works. If you walk into it like, oh, I don't believe in affirmations, oh, that's just, you've already like blocked it before you've even really given it a chance.
Right.
So I encourage everyone to try something. Because whatever you've been working, if you're stressed out right now, it's not really working.
Right.
As effective as it could be. And so there are other things out there to try. Do not give up hope. Because there's so many different things that you can do out there. And of course, surrounding yourselves with other like-minded people that also are striving for improvement. People who hang around people who tear them down. What do you expect to feel if you're not around people who do uplift you and support you? And then try to be that for other people as well. That energy is so important. This morning I was rushing trying to get my girls out to camp. They go to 2 different camps. I'm trying to, come on, get out the house. Let's go. We gotta go. The kids, they're on their own time schedule. So we're running late, right? We're getting in the car. We're on our way. I'm talking about the day. I'm giving them reminders. I get around the corner and what do I see? A train. A very slow moving train. And my girls, they knew. My girls could already sense the energy shift in the car. My little one said, Mommy, I'm sorry. And I'm like, sweetie, there's nothing to apologize for. My other one said, I'm going to be late to my such and such now. And I said, oh, now you're worried about being late. Okay. So I had choices to make at that moment in time. I could have chose to take an alternative route. But I didn't know where the train was. It could have been at the beginning of this long train, or it could have been at the end, and we could have been even later. I could have just sat there in silence, accepting the fact that here we are, and deal with it. Or I could have yelled, screamed, fussed at the girls for taking forever to put their shoes on. I could have done all of that. I had to make a choice. I'm always trying to show my children that there are certain things in life that you can control, and there's certain things in life that you cannot control. And so in those situations, I always ask them, can I make that train go faster? No. Okay. So what could I have done? Because I want them to think through. We could have woke up earlier. We could have stopped running around the house chasing each other and put on our shoes. Like, all these things could have helped. Okay. But here we are. Right. And we are going to deal with this, and we're going to press forward. It's the same thing with our health, with our life. When you're mindful about what you're eating. You're mindful about how much water are you drinking. You're mindful about, am I allowing my body to breathe deeply? Am I listening to my body? Your body wants to live. Your body wants to be healthy. Our bodies talk to us every single day. My knees were talking to me earlier this morning. It's saying something, right? Don't ignore it. For the last 5 or 6 days, I've been having this little headache thing going on behind my right eye. It's like, okay, why is that happening? Our body gives us signals to different things. And we have to, and we should, and we need to listen to it when it talks to us.
Right,
our body
right.
talks to us, our mind talks to us. Listen to what it's saying and treat it as you would treat a little baby, you know, because this is our only body, this is our only mind. Affirm it, listen to it, treat it with care, lovingly, get the sleep that you need, you know, say no to distractions that don't deserve your energy or your space, and just try to be your best self every day. It's all work in progress for all of us.
Right. Well, speaking to what you said about even our body speaking to us, many of us, and anyone who's looked at any of the older videos, whether it's a dermatologist or a guest interview that I've had, we've all said like the hair loss it's our body speaking to us. It's telling us that something is off.
Yes.
And it is, and even Karen's talked about that. Like, so, and it is an opportunity. I think of it now that I'm several years in, it's like these are invitations, right? Like these are invitations, to your point, to slow down and to try to ascertain what actually is happening, what is going on. And I heard someone say this a couple days ago. It's not unique to me. It's not original to me, but she had asked some theologian, how would he describe, what's one word he would use to describe Jesus? And he said the word was relax. And I think about, like, if you think about the way he lived his life, like he showed up when he needed to, but there was never like this, I gotta go here. If anything, he slowed down, right? So he's our model, right? So anyway, so and it wasn't an absence of urgency. He knew who he was and what his calling was and where he was going, but I don't ever get a sense that he was panicked. Right? And we live in a culture and in a society, whether we've done it or we're experiencing it, that is priming us on a daily basis. Even when it comes to pursuing health and care, you're stressed, fear. Like, we cannot move in fear. We cannot move in that high level anxiety and not have it come back. Right. In ways that are not helpful for us. So we have to,
And it's hard sometimes to do it. Because sometimes you feel like it's just you. It's not. It's not just you. Sometimes you feel like no one would understand. I believe everyone walking this earth should have a qualified, licensed therapist that they trust and that they enjoy speaking with. Because that is a third party, impartial person that you can go to and express your innermost thoughts, fears, concerns, and it can help you sometimes to kind of help do a little shift of your thinking, help you to see things a little bit differently, because maybe you don't want to go to your spouse with some of your inner feelings and things you might be dealing with. Maybe you'd rather not talk to your bestie about something else that you're dealing with. But if that's the case and you're at the point where you feel like you don't have anyone to talk to, there are people out there that will listen and that you can talk to and who are experienced in this field of the psyche and can help. And it can help, because it's really, I'm telling you, like back in the day when I used to suffer from frequent panic attacks, it works on your self-esteem. It does. It does a number on your self-esteem, because you just want it to stop, right? You just, that's part of the name of Calmfirmations, because when you are feeling anxious and you're feeling panic, the one thing you want to do is the hardest thing to do, and that is to just calm down. And breathe. And so I think everyone should have, or at least try, a licensed therapy appointments to get talking, and to release some of that pent up energy that you might have. And just to also always know that you're not alone in what you're dealing with. If you are struggling with hair loss, if you have hair that's constantly breaking, if you no longer feel good about your appearance, you are not the only one that feels that way. It's wild. I mean, because like I do have thick hair, and it's funny how sometimes people say, "Oh, Corine, your hair is so beautiful." What do I say? "Oh, girl, yeah, but it tangles up. Oh, it's so hard to get through, and all these tangles." Like, I focus on the negative, right? This person's simply paying me a compliment and telling me that they think I have nice hair, and I'm like, "Oh, you don't know what it took to make it look like this."
Right.
Why is it so hard for us just to accept the compliment? Thank you. Because when you can't accept the compliment, that's a reflection of how you're feeling feel like you're worthy of that compliment, or you don't appreciate, your hair or your own whatever that it might be. And so again, being mindful, we respond to other people and the things that they say to us, how we think about ourselves. We're all a work in progress.
Are we going to do a walkthrough and exercise together?
Well, I would love to.
And we can walk through just an exercise together, and then we'll close out with sort of where we can find you and where we can get the journal and any closing words you might have.
Okay. Well, that's great. Okay. So what we'll do, I always like to start with just at least 1 or 2 deep breaths. So we'll start with a couple deep breaths, and then we'll actually go through some affirmations, Calmfirmations is what I call them, together. And the ones I've selected are the ones that are out of the Healthy Hair Growth Journal. Because I have 7 journals, but this is the one, of course, that we're going to focus on today. Listen along, repeat along, whatever you feel so moved to do is fine. So for deep breathing, we are going to try to the best of your ability to breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold it for 7 or as long as you can. And then what's really important with all of this is to the best of your ability, breathe out through your mouth until you literally have no more air left to breathe. Okay. And we're going to do it twice because the first time may not feel weird, but we're going to do it twice. So first we're going to breathe in.
Okay.
Hold it and breathe out through your mouth. And while we're doing this mindfulness exercise, you're counting the breaths. You're focusing on, am I breathing out of my nose or my mouth? You're exhaling and your shoulders are dropping and your jaw is dropping. So by default, this short, deep breathing exercise is helping you to relax in the moment. You might not have even known that your shoulders were tight, but by deep breathing, it relaxes it. So one more time, deep breathe in, hold, and deep breathe out through your mouth. So we're going to begin with some Calmfirmations. I don't know how many you would like for me to do, so you just cut me off anytime if I say too many, but we are going to start with some Calmfirmations. I calmly affirm, I am beautiful as I am. I calmly affirm, healthy hair grows from my healthy scalp. I calmly affirm, I listen to my body's needs. I calmly affirm, the healthier my body gets, the healthier my hair grows. I calmly affirm, I massage my scalp with love and tenderness. I calmly affirm, I am doing my best to care for my hair. I calmly affirm, I release stress from my mind and body. I calmly affirm, my season of hair loss is coming to an end. Affirm that. And finally, I calmly affirm, I love myself unconditionally. I love that one. I love myself unconditionally. That one speaks to me. Always.
That's beautiful. You have such a calm voice. You have such a calming presence and voice. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Thank you for that compliment. I'm telling you, like, I know, right? I know that I am walking in my purpose with Calmfirmations. I know how hard it is for me to even be right here, right now, doing this, sharing part of my story, admitting that I have anxiety, talking about, some of the things that I've even dealt with in my life. I've always been radio silent about that. Only my nearest and dearest would ever hear that. And there's so much freedom and release in not hiding, not taking off the mask. It's okay.
Yes.
My name is Corine. I've dealt with an anxiety my entire life. Like, to be able to say that.
Yes.
It's very freeing. And if my words, if my voice, if my attempt to inspire and motivate and encourage others can help just one person out there, no better compliment I receive than when someone writes a comment and was like, oh, I love this video, or, oh my gosh, I enjoy doing your journal. Like, I love it. Like, because of the fact that I know what it feels like to not know
right.
which way to go, what
Right.
to do, what are calming tools, what do you
Right,
mean
right.
that feels like. And I want us to be our best selves. All very freeing. I love reciting confirmations myself. I love hearing other people, like I've been in different venues where people have repeat after me and I get chills. I'm like, people are repeating what I say. And then they tell me how much they enjoy it after it. Because I've also started doing calming, mindful coloring workshops. Like live in person, we'll color together and we'll recite confirmations together. And it's so enriching to be around other people who have chosen to come to an event like that because they also understand the importance and the need to press pause. And sometimes you need to be amongst other people doing the same thing to remain motivated and encouraged, along the way. So
I would love to host something like that. Anyway, that's it's also just so like God to redeem our stories, right? To redeem our stories. And the thing that you experienced throughout your life that he has redeemed and now is a gift to all over the world, right? Based upon your video and all the things that you're doing. It's just, he's so kind like that. And so thank you for
amazing, the full
being
circle.
Open.
Yes, no, you're welcome. I appreciate the opportunity to share. And I'm also always amazed at the end. I really did that. I'm really doing this. I really am just out here sharing parts of my story. And there's so much. I think I say this almost every time. When you see someone, you can make an assumption about them, but you have no idea what they've been through. You don't know the losses they've experienced. You don't know the ups and the downs that they've gone through. You don't know because they don't look like, in most cases, what they have been through. And everyone has a story. We all have a story. And so having that freedom within me to be bold enough to share my story and as a result help other people, because confirmations is for me as well as other people. I'm helping myself as well as helping others by doing things that I know have brought me peace of mind, that's helped me through anxious moments and stressful moments. And so I want to encourage other people to try to do similar things, just add more tools to their calming toolbox, to help them through tough times and to affirm themselves and keep themselves up when they are up. That's maintenance as well. You don't only do confirmations when you're sad, you do it when you're good as well, because it helps to affirm, how you're feeling at that time.
Right. It was absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much.
You're so
now
welcome.
tell us where we can make sure we give all your socials. We'll link them all in the description box.
Okay.
There's this is just everyone again, this is the Confirmations for Healthy Hair Journal. Grab yours today. And then she also has, again, I think 6 or 7 other journals that we'll link as well. But where can we find you?
You can find me on calmfirmations.com. It's like affirmations, but it's calmfirmations.com. With my website, I'm at Calmfirmations all over social media. And yes, I do have 7 journals. My last 2, one was for overwhelmed moms, because, again... And then the other is for college students, because I understand and I recognize that our young people, our young adults are also struggling a lot. There's a lot going on in the world. And so I wanted to make something that's specific to our college students to help them on that journey as they go from, being a child in the home to this young adult, and they think they have to have it all together, and they don't need to have it all together. But my college students one, I'm very proud of and really excited for that one as well. So calmfirmations.com, please follow me, send me some comments. If you have thoughts on a future journal that you would love to see, let me know. Right now, I'm expecting to create one for caregivers is another one that's on my list to do really soon. And for teachers is another one that I'm thinking of creating, because I have so many ideas in my head. So I can't wait to create more and more and more, because I love them.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
sharing. Thank you for sharing. And you're obviously welcome back here anytime.
Thank you.
And so everyone, again, thanks for watching. And as always, live well, live blessed, nourish your crown, and we'll see you in the next video.